Jay Sano without intro music. Jay Sano with intro music. Intro music remix. Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19. Jay Sano 19. The bottle. Linda and Tommy were getting worried about. Welcome back, everybody, to this Netflix-style playthrough of The Novelist, where I try to make all the wrong choices. Uploading this episodically, but putting them all up there in one day for your viewing pleasure, just like the Netflix series House of Cards. What does this say? Where we left off, Dan missed his deadlines, Linda had a crappy art show, but Tommy's happy. I've been making Tommy a little bit too happy lately. Assembly time, approximately 3 hours, so he wants to build this little car for Tommy. Firewood buckets. Nothing on the table today. What's she got going on? Making the stress worse, not better.
I'm fine.
Oh, it's the drinking time.
Why don't you stop at 2?
No need to stop at 2. He ain't driving nowhere.
Just got back from the show, if you can even call it that. I didn't sell a single piece.
Which isn't a surprise given the turnout. I know Dan had other things in his mind, but I told him how important it was to me. It was such a good opportunity to figure out what I want to do when we get back home too, but I can't make up my mind based on such a half-hearted exhibit. Was that Dan's way of telling me he's not ready for me to go back? I don't want to read too much into it, at least not so soon. But it's really hard not to. Okay, Linda. Not sure if she's getting a bad rap from Dan. Here's her list. Beer case. Like it. That's definitely Dan's style. Should just call the book a gathering of adverbs. Nice.
Just called Paul. Didn't even get a chance to explain before he started in on me.
Reamed me out. Absolutely killed me. No point writing any more than that. Writing everything here instead of working on the book is what screwed me in the first place. You must be upstairs. Oh! He's so drunk he ran into the table. It's awesome. Tommy's got to be around here, right? You up here? So he's happy now. Doing too good with Tommy. He must be upstairs.
But he promised.
If he doesn't do it, I'll help you, honey.
So that's got to be with the car. Conch shell. That got ordered. So I already can figure out what Tommy wants. He wants his car. Tommy,
Hey, Dad.
sorry son, you ain't getting your car.
Barb, I know I wrote yesterday, but I need your advice.
I think Dan's drinking too
Dan's
much.
drinking.
And before you start to worry, let me say he's not an alcoholic. It's just because of the pressure he's under trying to finish the book. But you know, Dan's never exactly been a health nut. He isn't gaining weight yet, though that's just because the alcoholic kills his appetite. So he's hardly eating at night, which is another problem altogether. I don't think he sees what he's doing to himself, and I don't think he knows how to break, or I don't know how to break this to him. Sometimes I just want to say, it's not like I have to get drunk to paint, but I know that's not the most mature way to handle it. Sorry for dumping all this on you. I just wanted to get it off my chest. Do you have any advice? Okay, so this chapter is definitely going to be ending with Dan hitting the bottle. I know she wants him to go jogging, if I recall. He's always at his computer. There's something else around. Well, that was the list.
Like this.
That included the beer. Okay, I better get up in your office before you lock me out and make it difficult for me to get in. There we go.
Alan, hey man, this is gonna sound odd, but I could use some advice.
I'm in hot water
I'm in
here
hot water
because,
here
well,
because-
I've been drinking more lately. Man, there's just no good way to write that. I mean, I used to drink and write all the time in school. You remember that, right? I guess it got away from me when I got married, and definitely after Tommy came along. But he's in bed 8:30 every night. And let me be clear, I'm not blacking out or driving drunk. You know, I'd never do something like that. I just have a few drinks while I'm working. Safe and sound in the house. A writer who drinks isn't exactly misheard of. Wow, could I sound more defensive? But here's the hell of it. It's working. It brought that college hunger, that energy, and in the last week or two, books just singing. Don't even know what I'm asking here. Maybe I just want to start a conversation. If you get a chance, give me a call. Okay. Now we know what he wants. It's the same one. It's just stayed there forever. Jump down. Oh, I just went away from Dan. Ah, crap. Have I figured out what she wanted yet? Oh, I got into Tommy on accident. So I know he wants his car, right? I still don't know what Linda's looking for in this. If I recall, it was like the jogging shoes or something. Ooh, what's this?
Write drunk, edit sober. Apparently Hemingway said that. Or maybe someone else did.
Doesn't matter, because it's true. It's right. You have to be fearless. You have to make choices and plow forward. Surprise the reader. Surprise yourself. Make something that matters, not something safe. What does drinking do? It suppresses inhibitions. Yeah, there are typos, but that's what copy editors are for. And I'm not, like, drinking all day. I'm fixing most of this stuff myself each morning, or early afternoon, I guess. I'm not stumbling around drunk all day and pissing myself. I'm trying to create something they'll remember me by. No one can imagine how stressful this is unless they've tried it. The pressure's so bad I just want to give up sometimes. On those nights, a drink is the only way to turn my mind off and get some sleep. When the book is done, I'll dial it back. But will he is the question. There he is. Bourbon. Pour bourbon to work on the apartment scene. You are so going to do that, but I still want to make sure I find all the other clues.
If he uses that Hemingway quote one more time, pretty much every night he's either super focused
on his novel or too drunk for us to spend any regular night together. That used to be our time. We would put Tommy down for the night and have a glass of wine, 2 at the most, and talk about our day, or maybe listen to a record. Now I'm lucky to get 1 night a week where he's sober and not writing. Most nights he has bourbon. No, wait, make that 4. And I read in bed until I fall asleep. He tries not to wake me up when he comes in. You're never as quiet and graceful as you think you are when you're drunk, in a dark room no less. Of course, I want his book to be great, but I also want my husband back. Okay, so now I can read her thoughts. If I remember, she wants him to go jogging, but I gotta find it before I grab that bourbon. I gotta find the bourbon as well. Where you at, lady? Jogging shoes, yeah. She wants him to make the effort. And last time I compromised. I let him have some drinks. Oh, I thought the bourbon was there. It must be up in his office. I let him have some drinks and compromised with the... Uh-oh. Oh, no. Get up there. Phew. Snuck in. Oh, I thought that door was shut. Is this the bourbon? Oh, yeah! Drink it up, Danny. Danny boy getting drunk. No compromises. Just drink. Those girls were just too good to give up, so Dan made peace with the fact that things would be a little rougher around the house for a few months. He promised his family and himself that he'd cut out the booze as soon as he handed in the final draft. But when he cracked his shin on the coffee table 2 nights later, he got no sympathy from Tommy or Linda. Tommy tried to put the pedal car together himself, but the instructions confused him and he gave up. Linda finished it for him. But in Tommy's mind, it was just a reminder that his dad had broken a promise. He'd only driven it a few times when he accidentally left it outside before a rainstorm. It got so muddy that he didn't bother to ride it again or ask Linda to clean it. Linda couldn't understand why Dan was so reckless with his health. A few nights later, when Dan tripped and fell while trying to undress in the dark, Linda got fed up and threw one of his running shoes at him. When he saw the bruise on his arm the next day, he was so ashamed about how long it took him to remember where it had come from. As July came to an end, the Kaplans' lives had developed a pattern. Dan finished his first draft, but instead of accomplishment, he felt disappointment. The book had gotten away from him. It was barely readable, much less publishable. Paul and Grovefield gave him one last chance to get it in shape, but they didn't have to tell him what the consequences would be if he couldn't get it all together. And on the following Tuesday, Tommy put on an art show in the den, explaining his drawings to his parents one by one. Dan got Linda to pretend they were at an art auction, bidding against one another for each drawing. Dan would be denied outbidding Linda every time while complimenting the family's youngest artist on his priceless works of art. Dan and Linda had reservations for a getaway at a bed and breakfast, but they couldn't stomach the thought of spending a weekend together. They didn't want to upset Tommy, so Dan stayed by himself at the bed and breakfast while Linda drove to her sister Anne's. They both spent the weekend stewing, and the time apart did nothing to ease the tension. They still had a month left, but Dan's chances to change the course of the summer were growing fewer. Chapter 7, Full House. A friend of Dan's was coming to visit.